Welcome to episode 6. This is Mondays with Maria Gould, and today is February the 10th, 2025. The theme of our podcast today is all around the heart, Valentine's Day this month. So, relationships. How do we have healthy relationships? Now, when we think at our teachers of relationships, our parents, our caregivers, how did they express themselves in relationship? Did they kind of tolerate each other? Did they barely get along? Did they agree with each other? Were they caring? Were they loving? Did they have affection towards one another? As children, we watch and we mimic how our parents interacted with each other. And when we get into a relationship, we copy and mimic this, unless we make a conscious effort to make changes. Now, let's talk a bit about the subconscious. When you're in a relationship, it is very easy because our brains are wired to be critical. Your brain is looking for things to be critical about just from wiring. Humans survived from being critical so that they could keep themselves safe, that they could stay in their respective families, their respective tribes. So this is sort of wired into us. When we're in a relationship, however, focusing on our criticalness can literally destroy the relationship. So we need to learn to focus our mind and reassert ourselves on what we love about them, what we like about them. Now, I know if your brain has had a habit of being very critical, maybe them throwing their socks around or not picking up their dishes, or doing certain things drive you crazy, but what do you focus on that is good? Are they helpful? Are they compassionate when you share what's going on for you? Do they listen? Right? All of these things is where you put your focus. What you focus on, you will actually amplify. When we are focusing on what we're critical about, of course, it's going to amplify in our mind. So we have to learn to pull our consciousness away from that critical nature and put it on what we like about them. Now, I would like to say a shout out to my husband, who this year in April, we will have been married 20 years. So hi, honey. So we have had our ups and downs, but this was learning for me how to not be critical was a huge part of my learning in our relationship, and learning how to focus on really all of the best qualities that he is. Okay, he's very kind, he's very funny, he makes me laugh all the time, he's very lighthearted. Okay, all of these things, when I focus on them and allow them, they amplify. Okay, he's very kind, he's very friendly, everybody loves my husband. Okay, so I'm very, very blessed, I'm very lucky. And when we think of being in a relationship, a lot of times we have to understand men and women are literally wired differently. In a relationship, if a man is having an issue, he might go within himself, he might get really quiet, he might kind of become a hermit, not want to share a lot, not want to talk a lot. And this is how men process what they're going through. They want to figure it out. They want to fix it and find a solution to it before they would even share it or tell you it's a problem. Whereas women, when there's an issue, they want to share it and be emotionally supported. Women want to be heard and validated, reassured that we can address these problems ourselves, that we can find the solutions ourselves. So really, women are looking for that cheerleader energy. We're just looking for encouragement. What I see the most in couples when I do couples counseling, which I'm not a certified counselor, but I can hold space for them to understand each other in a new way. When I do that service, I actually get them to reframe it. Men want to fix something, and sometimes they need to actually understand that by offering solutions or what the woman should do in that situation makes the woman feel that she's not being heard. That wasn't what she was looking for. So this can really take a lot of pressure off of men to understand that they don't need to fix their partner's problems. They just need to listen. They need to be understanding, be on your partner's side, right? Validate how they're feeling, understand how they're feeling, right? And when your partner perhaps is looking for solutions, they will ask for it, right? But don't expect them to follow through with those actions. It has to come from them, okay? Whereas a woman may feel very unseen and unheard and not able to connect with her partner if he is very much in a cave about his issues, not wanting to share, thinking he has to go through everything alone. Women love that emotional connection, so they want their men to share a little bit, and they want to be there to support their men as well. Right? Now, men might look for, solutions, how to fix it, but sometimes it's just that energy of being heard, being validated, that gives us that connection and that strength to move forward in difficult situations. This really came to my forefront of my mind when I would hear myself whenever my husband was having a problem. He would go into himself. He would become very quiet. He wouldn't talk a lot. He would read newspapers or things at the table without interacting a lot. And my brain tended to go, oh my gosh, is there a problem? Is something wrong in our relationship? And there never was. And then my husband shared this joke with me one time on Facebook, and this absolutely changed my life. So the joke was talking about a couple, and their anniversary was coming up. The wife was very excited. She was getting a nice outfit and getting a babysitter for the children, and they were going to go out for their anniversary, have a nice dinner, spend some quality time together. She was really looking forward to this. Her partner comes home, and he's a little kind of pulled back and recluse, and she's trying to engage him and saying, honey, aren't you excited about our anniversary dinner tonight? And he's like, oh, yeah. And to her, it felt like he brushed the importance of it off. But to him, he was struggling with a problem. He was trying to figure out how to fix it. So let's move forward with the joke. The woman's mind started to think that there were issues in the relationship. She started to believe that maybe he didn't love her anymore. Maybe he was having an affair. A lot of times when we don't feel that connection as women, that reassurance as women, we get a little bit scared. And that scared energy comes up into our brain, and we make up all of these stories about what is possibly happening for our partner. Now, these stories, remember, they are not true, but your mind is telling you they're true because your fear got triggered a little bit. Okay? So going on with the joke, they go on and the wife is really thinking all of these awful things. And before they even leave the house for their anniversary dinner, she confronts her partner and is quite upset and crying and saying, "Do you not love me anymore? Do you not think that our relationship is valuable? We've been married so many years. We're going out for a wonderful anniversary. Why do you feel like you're not happy about this?" And this is the butt end of a joke. The partner was upset that he couldn't start his truck. He was trying to figure out in his mind what was going on with his truck. After he shared this with his partner, they both had a big laugh. Because remember, women are looking for that emotional connection to feel loved and safe. And men are looking to fix something. So when they're working on fixing something, they can pull back in, be very recluse, be very introverted, almost like the men are from Mars, women are from Venus concept, and go into a cave. So they both had a big laugh. I had a big laugh because I recognized this pattern in myself, right? Whenever my husband was sort of recluse and not emotionally engaging, I would have all of these stories run and these insecurities run, and they weren't true. So after we had a laugh about this joke, my husband and I asked him point blank. I said, is this really what happens for you? Your brain is just somewhere else about a problem you had today, and you are trying to fix it. And he laughed and he says, yes, 95% of the time, that's what I'm doing when I'm not engaging with you, when I'm not getting as excited about things as you are, or connecting with you in the way that you want. So we both, and I had to laugh at myself because I was doing that mental pattern that the woman in the joke was doing, thinking the worst of the situation, making a story up that wasn't true, right? And that can be very, very stressful on the relationship because those stories that we make up can be projected on our partner, and they haven't even done anything. So this was a big learning moment for me and my partner, and we decided to kind of connect with each other in different ways. We started to communicate better and also have that understanding, right? Encouraging my husband to share if he was working out a problem and did he want to talk about it or stay to himself. Okay, so learning for men, learning how to communicate with their partner what they're thinking is reassuring for the female. She likes to know what's happening in her man's internal world. So let's come back now to focusing on what you do like in the relationship. Remember when you first were dating this person? What did you like? What made you feel special? What made them feel special? Can you rekindle this energy? Can you rekindle this energy? I know when my husband and I were first dating over 20 years ago, he was always working out of town. He would be a long-haul truck driver. So whenever he had a chance, he would send little notes, a little fax to my work, just saying, I love you, or something like that, these sweet little notes. There was wonderful moments of emotional connection. Can you bring this back in your relationship? Can you foster those energies of connection again? What do you focus on that's good? My husband is a very kind man and very considerate. Everybody that knows him thinks he's amazing. He's also a strong protector, right? So knowing that about him, if I tell him something that is very upsetting to me, especially if I'm sharing that one of my friends is going through a difficult relationship, maybe she's not being treated well, his protective instincts are very ferocious. And I've learned to kind of go, honey, I can't share that with you because it'll upset you. Let her figure it out. Let her handle that. Okay. So learning these things about our partners, what you can share and what you can't share, is also an important thing. Learning those emotional boundaries with each other is very important. Now, everybody has habits that the other partner can find irritating. So let's explain a little bit what can be happening. So each person has an idea in their mind what would make their life better. So, for example, I can have a tendency to want a very clean house. So if it gets a little bit messy, I feel a little bit stressed. I feel like I can't relax. So knowing this about myself, and that it's my issue, not theirs, I've learned to actually pick up a little bit more, but also ask them, my husband and my son, to be respectful of that and to actually pick up after themselves. So that takes time in a kind way without being cruel or mean or vicious. Okay. Learning to live together in a healthy, happy way is a wonderful relationship, right? Learning to cohabitate where each person feels heard and seen and respected is very, very powerful. So what do you focus on? Let's come back to our very first point. Does your brain focus on what you are upset about? You know you can actually change your mind. Pull your thoughts back and say some of those positive things about your partner. What do you love about them? What do you see them do with their friends or their family that you just respect immensely, right? Focusing on those good things, focusing on what they do to help you and make you feel safe and make you feel wanted and loved, those are what you want to focus on. Let the critical mind go. Now, each couple has a very different love language. And once you understand this, if you've never read the book, The 5 Love Languages, and forgive me, right now I forget the author's name, but please, if you Google The 5 Love Languages, his book series will come up. This is critical knowledge to know about yourself and about your partner. How and what things make you feel loved and connected. So I'm going to just talk about a few. And now, for example, my love language is acts of service. Acts of service are doing things for my partner because I am always thinking about them. So if I notice when I clean the shower that he's getting low in shampoo, I make sure that I have more shampoo available, right? These kind of little things are my acts of service to let him know that I love him, that I'm thinking of him. If I see something in the grocery store that I know is one of his favorite things to eat, then I will get that and prepare that, right? Those little things, those acts of service. Okay, my husband is a big words of affirmation, words of, honey, thank you so much. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Thank you for working so hard to provide for your family. I love you, right? Words of affection, appreciation, gratefulness, acknowledgement, right? Those kinds of energies are his love language. Okay, another love language is touch, right? Holding hands, snuggling, cuddling, the act of lovemaking, right? If your love language is those energies of touch and your partner isn't, then you want to work on that. As the partner, you want to work on holding their hand, work on reaching out and rubbing their back, right? Giving them a hug. All of those things are super important for them to feel loved and connected. Okay? There's also gifts. Gifts is another love language for some people. Buying little things, buying those little beautiful bouquet of flowers at the grocery store that you see for them, buying a little trinket that you think they will love. Those energies of gift giving is another love language for some people. Okay, now you can look up the book, The 5 Love Languages, but I just gave you a few there. So go ahead and do some research. There's a great questionnaire in the book, and actually figure out what is your love language. What is your partner's love language? How do they feel cared for and loved and heard? There's also spending quality time together is another love language. If you feel that your partner is always busy and they don't have time for you, do you need to book that time in so that you have special time together? Is that how you feel loved? So being aware of these things and making sure they are a part of your relationship can really make or break a relationship. Focusing on what you do like about them, letting go of the criticalness that we can be wired with, right? Remember to focus on men and women are different. They think differently. Learning to actually understand that and work with each other. Men, you're off the hook. You don't have to fix her problems when she's sharing with you. You get to listen. You get to be reassuring. You get to go, I understand, honey, that must be so hard. Okay, those kinds of reassurance and emotional support is what women are looking for. And men can learn to open up when they're facing an issue and a problem and learning to allow themselves to share a little bit, what they're going through, what they're stressed about. Those are what make the relationship blossom and feed that emotional heart in the relationship. Can you bring back some of those romantic things that you used to do when you were first dating? Can you send little love notes or love texts, right? Can you send them a funny video that you know they will like? All of those little tiny things lets them know that you're thinking of them, that you care about them, that you love them. All right, so I hope that today's discussion was helpful for you. Relationships are our greatest gift. It is our connection to learn to love ourselves and to learn others unconditionally, right? Learning to love the best of somebody and also the not so best. We all have parts of us that are unhealed, we're still working on. But to understand this and still love your partner through that energy can be just amazing. Learning unconditional love for them. All right, I want to wish each of you a wonderful, wonderful week. If you are looking for more emotional support with your relationships, you are welcome to reach out and contact me through my website at mariagould.com. I would love to hold space for you in a healing session to help work through any of these energies of relationships so that you can have a wonderful February. And wishing each and every one of you a happy Valentine's Day. May the energy of love fill your day.